Okay, for the next part, modulus, argon diagram and polar form, which is tiga-tiga benda ni related antara satu sama lain. So, okay, kalau dalam nota kamu, kalau kamu tengok dekat sini saya ada bagi diagram. So, buang je diagram tu, abaikan je. So, boleh lukis apa yang saya lukis ni dekat another paper. Alright, so we gonna look at how to find modulus and how to draw an argon diagram. So, let's see here we have modulus, or we represent it as R, or modulus Z pun boleh, is equals to square root A square plus B squared. Okay, ni penting kena ingat. So we have R is equals to square root A square plus B squared for modulus. And then to find the argument, we have tangent inverse tangent B over A. So apa tu B, apa tu A? Basically, it's a complex number. We write as Z equals to A plus BI. So B dekat sini ialah yang imaginary ni, A dekat sini ialah yang real part. Okay. Alright, so now kita tengok dekat quadrant dekat sini. So this is quadrant 1, this is quadrant 2, quadrant 3, quadrant 4. Okay, so the first thing you have to do is to identify, if you have the question asks you to find the modulus or argon diagram. I mean, like if the question asks you to find the modulus or the polar form, you have to identify the complex number is in which quadrant. How? So this is simply like, this is also we can write as x plus y I. Okay, so your complex number, this A represent x, this B represent y. Okay, so this is x intercept, no, this is x axis, this is your y axis. Okay, as you can see here, this is your real part, this is your imaginary part. So this is your A, this is your B. Okay, first you have to identify in which quadrant. So we're gonna look at the question nanti lah. So now, first I want to explain how to find the modulus. So if you are in the quadrant 1, so obviously your A must be positive because here is positive number, positive x, and your B must be positive as well because here is positive. Okay, so ini A positive, B kena positive jugalah. So the argument here, the argument, okay, how to find the argument? We have to find alpha first. So alpha is equals to inverse tangent B over A. Okay, so for the first quadrant we have theta equals to inverse tangent B over A. Alright, okay, or can use that in your first quadrant your theta is equals to alpha. Sebab benda sama kan, dekat sini saya cakap alpha is equals to inverse tangent B over A. So theta is equals to alpha, so dia benda yang sama lah. Alright, so moving on to the second quadrant. Second quadrant, let's see, kita tukar sikit colour. So second quadrant your A must be, A kita second quadrant kita kat sini kan, so A dekat sini ialah negatif lah. A negative A, positive B. Okay, so how to find your argument here? We have to do pi minus alpha. Okay, so alpha tu apa? Ini alpha kita, inverse tangent B over A. Alright, so for the third quadrant, so A is negative, B is also negative. So negative A, negative B. So our argument would be theta equals to negative pi minus alpha. Okay, kalau tak faham, tak nampak lagi, tak apa, just follow the flow. Okay, so and the last one for the fourth quadrant, this should be positive A, negative B, and our argument should be negative alpha. Okay, so ni saya padam lah supaya nampak. theta is equals to alpha. Okay. Alright. So, now we have for the first quadrant, theta is equals to alpha, which is alpha. Our alpha is inverse tangent B over A. So, this one A positive, B positive. So, for the second quadrant, we have tangent, theta is equals to pi minus alpha. So, as you can see here, your A is negative. What we have to do is, for this one, when you calculate your alpha, we're just gonna ignore the sign for A and B. Okay, we're gonna ignore the sign for A and B. So that's the first thing when you do your modulus or polar form. And the second thing is when you calculate your argument, it must be in radian. Okay, you have to change your mode calculator, your calculator mode in radian. So that is two things that is important to find the argument and modulus. Okay, so this one in third quadrant we have theta equals to negative pi minus alpha, and the last one we have theta equals to negative alpha. Okay, macam mana nak ingat? Yang di sebelah atas mesti positif. See, positif alpha, positif pi minus alpha. Yang di sebelah bawah mesti negatif. Negatif, negatif. Okay, sebelah kanan alpha sahaja, di sebelah kiri pi minus alpha. Dari mana datang pi itu sebenarnya? Okay, daripada sini. Ini ialah alpha kamu. So untuk dapat ini, pi lah, pi is 180. So pi minus alpha. So ini pun samalah. This is your negative alpha. This is pi minus, negative pi minus alpha. Okay, so that is the summary for how to draw your Argand diagram or how to find the modulus. Okay, kalau tak faham, tak apa, kita akan tengok dekat soalan. But we have 3 main steps to find the argument, and later we want to find the Argand form, the polar form. So the first step is you have to draw your quadrant. Tak perlu draw pun tak apa, as long as you know where is the quadrant for that complex number. The second part is we have to find the modulus. The third part is we have to find the argument. Okay. Alright. So look at example 14. Represent the following complex number on Argand diagram. So this should show and find its modulus and argument. So we have A is equals to Z plus 4i. Z is equals to 2 plus 4i. So the first thing is to draw the Argand diagram. Okay, which is same as our quadrant part. So we have axis. So now we have our A is 2, our B is 4. Terus tulis A is equals to 2, B is equals to 4. Dua-dua positif. Okay, so here is 2, here is 4. So this is our Argand diagram. Okay, in first quadrant. So this is real number, this is imaginary number. Okay, so dia berada di quadrant yang pertama. So this is our alpha. So the second part is M. So M is the modulus. So the modulus is, we simply use this formula. R is equals to square root A square plus B square. A tu apa, B tu apa, inilah. So we have R is equals to square root 2 square plus 4 square, which we will get square root 20. Okay, kalau tekan calculator akan dapat 2 square root 5. Sama je, tak ada masalah. And the last part is argument. Okay, A. So argument, here is our argument. This is alpha, sebenarnya kita kena cari alpha. Tapi for our question, our complex number is in the first quadrant. So simply theta is equals to alpha. So alpha kita, terus boleh kira theta is equals to alpha kita. So which is inverse tangent B over A. B is 4, A is 2. So ingat saya dah cakap tadi, make sure in radian. Okay, tekan calculator, make sure tahu macam mana nak tukar. Kalau tak tahu boleh bagi tahu saya. So tekan calculator, we will get 1.107 radian. Okay. Alright. So that's it. Kita ada nak cari quadrant, nak lukis Argand diagram sama macam cari quadrant. So this is quadrant Q, and then cari M, modulus, and A. Qma. Alright. So boleh buat, cuba buat dulu the second question here. We have A is equals to 5, B is equals to negative 4. Okay, so the first step is quadrant. A 5, B negative 4. A to represent X lah. So A 5, B di bawah, negative 4. So it's gonna be in fourth quadrant. Okay, sini angle alpha kamu. Okay, so modulus, we have the modulus. Modulus, we just simply use this formula. We have R is equals to square root A square plus B square. So we have R is equals to square root A square plus B square. So we have 5 square plus negative 4 square. And then just press your calculator, we will get square root 41. Oops. Square root 41. And then the next part is to find the argument. But first you have to find your alpha. So alpha is here. Inverse tangent B over A. But make sure to ignore the sign. Sebab kat sini B kita negative 4. So we have alpha is equals to inverse tangent 4 over 5. Okay. So tekan calculator, kita akan dapat 0.6747 radian. Okay. So apa-apa jawapan kamu, make sure in 4 significant figures. Tapi yang ni tak habis lagi kita baru cari alpha. We want argument. Argument is theta. So argument is theta. Now you are in the fourth quadrant. Di bawah sebelah kanan. Bawah mesti negatif, sebelah kanan ialah alpha sahaja. So your theta supposed to be negative alpha. So we will have negative 0.6747 radian. Okay. Atas positif, bawah negatif. Kanan alpha, bawah pi minus alpha. Boleh ingat? Okay. Atas positif, bawah negatif. Kanan alpha, kiri pi minus alpha. Alright. Okay. So that's it for Argand diagram and modulus. So now we're gonna continue. Habiskan je terus. We're gonna continue into polar form. So basically benda yang sama, kita masih lagi akan apply quadrant M apa? Modulus dengan A. Cuma we're gonna add a new step which is P. P tu apa? Polar form. Okay. So apa yang kita buat sebelum ni, kita akan buat benda yang sama. We just gonna add one more step which is polar form. So apa polar form? This one. Okay. Z is equals to R cos theta plus I sin theta. Simply R kita kat sini ialah modulus. So mesti kena cari modulus dulu. Theta kat sini ialah argument. So the whole thing here is polar form. Alright. Okay. So sama juga. Tak ada sama juga. Okay. So let's see example 15. Write the following complex number in polar forms. So first we have the question negative 2 plus 2i. Our A is negative 2, B is 2. Okay. So the first step is to draw the quadrant. Quadrant is negative 2, 2. A negative 2 kat sini. Positive 2, 2. Okay. So berada di quadrant yang kedua. Okay, quadrant kedua. So the next one, modulus. Modulus, we have modulus ialah huruf apa? R. Okay. R is equals to square root A square plus B squared. Okay, just press your calculator, you will get square root 8. Right. So the next step is to find A. Kalau kamu tengok benda yang sama je kita buat dengan yang sebelum ni. So A is the argument. Argument ialah theta, but we have to find alpha first. Okay, find our alpha first. Alpha is tangent inverse B over A, but you have to ignore the sign. So B is 2, A is negative 2. Ignore the sign. Okay. Saya kena tulis ni. Negatif kat sini, tapi ignore. Padam. Saya harap kamu faham lah tu. Okay. So tak perlulah masukkan negatif tu dekat dalam kalkulator. Macam mana nak tulis ni? Okay, tak nak negatif. Allah. Zoom. Okay, tak nak negatif. Alright, so just press your calculator in radian. The answer would be berapa? Tak ada orang jawab pun. Pi over 4. Okay, ingat alpha bukan argument Argument ialah theta. Sekarang kamu punya kuadran berada di kuadran yang kedua. Atas positif, kiri pi minus alpha. So theta kita akan jadi pi minus alpha. So pi minus alpha kita ialah pi over 4. So our theta is 3 pi over 4. Okay, alright. So untuk argument cari alpha dulu, ataupun kamu terus nak buat. Contohnya saya padam lah padam. Ataupun kita boleh terus buat. Kita tahu, we know that here the formula is pi minus alpha. Okay, then straight away we can calculate our argument. Theta is equals to pi minus alpha is inverse tangent B over A. Ignore the sign. So equals to, you will get 3 pi over 4. Okay. Kalau dah tahu formula, boleh je terus kira. Tak perlu cari alpha dulu and then cari theta. Alright. Belum habis lagi. The question asks for the polar form. We have the last step. Terus sini je lah Sinilah. P. So polar form, ini je polar form kita. Okay, tak ada masalah pun. As long as you have your modulus and argument, we can just write our polar form. Our polar form, Z kita ialah the question. So the question is negative 2 plus 2i is equals to R is square root 8 bracket cos theta is 3 pi over 4 plus I sin 3 pi over 4. Okay, tak perlu tekan calculator. Biar je dia dalam bentuk macam ni. Okay. Alright. So, that's it. That is the polar form for this question here. Okay. Kita buat satu lagi soalan. Yang ni kamu boleh try attempt sendiri. So, here the answer is negative 3 minus 9i is equals to 3 square root 10 cos negative 1.93 plus I sin negative 1.893. Okay, boleh attempt sendiri kat sini. So this one, the answer here is 2 cos negative pi over 3 plus I sin negative pi over 3. Okay, make sure kamu cuba So I want to do the last question, which is question D. So the question asks to find the complex, the question asks to find the polar form. So untuk buat polar form, dia mesti dalam bentuk Cartesian form dulu. So sekarang dia dalam bentuk fraction. Okay, we have in fraction form. So we have to simplify. So simplify, kita dah belajar, we have to multiply by the conjugate of the denominator here. So we have 2 minus 3i over 2 minus 3i. Simplify atas negative 2. Negative 1 times negative 3 plus 3i. Lagi? 5i times 2 plus 10i. 5i times negative 3i negative 15i squared. So I square akan jadi negative, sini akan jadi positif. Berapa tadi? 15. Okay. So bawah boleh apply a square plus b square, a plus bi, a plus bi, a minus bi. So we will have 2 square plus 3 squared. Okay, sekarang just simplify. Kita akan dapat 13 plus 13i over, berapa bawah tu? 13 juga, 13 over 13. So boleh simplify, we have 1 plus i. Okay, so ini dalam complex number kita. So now baru kita boleh selesaikan QMAP kita. Okay, quadrant, modulus, argument, polar form kita. So quadrant, tengok sini sekarang kita ada A sama dengan 1, B sama dengan 1. Dua-dua positif. The quadrant part, we know it is in the first quadrant lah, obviously. Okay. First quadrant. Quadrant 1. Okay. Nah, terus tulis theta equals to alpha dekat sini pun boleh, tak ada masalah. Okay. Atas, kanan. Positif, alpha. So, M kita is modulus. Modulus is R. R is square root 1 square plus 1 square. We will have square root 2. The next part is argument. Argument kita dah tulis siap-siap kat sini. Theta is equals to alpha. Theta equals to alpha kita is tangent 1 over 1. Tangent, inverse tangent 1. Semua orang tahu nak tekan inverse tangent macam mana? Lupa saya nak tanya. Shift tangent shift tangent. So we will have pi over 4. And the last one, the polar form. Simply put all in the formula. Okay. R is square root 2 cos pi over 4 plus I sin pi over 4. Okay, siap. Alright. So that's it for this one. This video for chapter 1.1. So this one I want you to discuss in your group. I'll give you answer later. Okay. Thank you, class.